What is up, guys? The Premium Rat here, and welcome to episode 15, I think we're on now, of my weird and wacky Q&A series. If you haven't come across this series before, then you're in for a surprise, because some of the questions we get are absolutely disgusting. Feel free to go back and watch some of the previous episodes in this series. Genuinely, some of the questions might scare you, because my subscribers are a bunch of lunatics, as am I. First of all, obviously the gameplay is not important in the background, but I just want to point out that it is a reused gameplay that I uploaded a fair few months ago, so I'm sure if I hadn't even mentioned it, you guys probably wouldn't have even noticed it. But you know, as I said in the previous commentary last week, you know, I'm getting bored of playing COD. I genuinely don't play Black Ops 2 anymore, so I haven't got any gameplay stored up. And in the comments section, you guys were like, you know what, we don't really care about the gameplay anyway. So anyway, let's crack straight on with this wacky Q&A. And the first one comes in from Alfie_Gillen, or Gillen, I think that is, and he asks, would you rather own Spurs or have 100 million to keep for yourself? I'd probably take the 100 million and then invest half of that into Spurs. As I said, I'm not sure how much Tottenham's actually worth as a club. I'm pretty sure the owners called, like, I swear they own John Lewis, and I'm pretty sure they own the Grove as well. Just Google the Grove if you guys don't know what that is. It's a really nice sort of like hotel slash restaurant place. It's like a not a resort, but it's near my house anyway, and that's where all the England boys go and stay before they fly out to like different countries. That's where they stay before they play at Wembley, and loads of clubs stay there. I'm pretty sure Dortmund stayed there before the Champions League final. But yeah, anyway, I think they own that, but I'd definitely take the 100 mil and then invest half that, or 75 mil of that, into Spurs, and then you'd probably get yourself maybe upwards of about 30% of the stake in Tottenham. So that's definitely what I do. Thanks for the question. Next one comes in from Marty McGrath, and he asks, how well do you reckon Spurs will do in Europe next season? It all depends really, because you know, this season obviously AVB is his first season, and you could tell straight away he really wanted to have a bash at the Europa League. When Redknapp was in charge, he didn't give a shit. He genuinely would play the second string players, you know, he'd play like Bentley, like dogs like that, and he really didn't care. But you could tell that AVB wanted to just have a go at it, because obviously he's won it previously at Porto, I'm pretty sure he has. So, you know, he played all pretty much, not the starting 11, but a couple of the first string players straight from the off, even in the group stage. So it obviously sent out a message that we're here to win this. You know, unfortunately, we got knocked out to Basel on penalties. I thought we played reasonably well. Unfortunately, we went down to 10 men, and that's ultimately what cost us, I think. But, you know, it all depends what sort of signings we get in next year. If we can buy a decent striker, that's all we're looking for. I think, you know, we might be able to have a good crack at it. And, you know, the thing that annoys me about the Europa League is that the so-called losers, as it were, from the Champions League get dropped down into the Europa League. Because if you look at the semi-final of the Europa League this year, you know, you've got Chelsea, Benfica, Fenerbahce and Lazio, I think it was. I'm pretty sure all four of those teams were in the Champions League this year. I'm pretty sure. So, you know, well, most of the teams that get dropped out of the Champions League do well in the Europa League. Look at Chelsea, they eventually ended up winning it after getting knocked out of the Champions League. So, you know, I think they should abolish that. They've now added in the rule that if you win the Europa League, you get a qualifying spot in the Champions League, which I think is a couple of years too late. They should have done that anyway. But yeah, I think we can give it a good old crack next year. Thanks for the question. Next one comes in from Keanu Boss, and he asks, would you rather start again on COD level-wise and delete your Ultimate Team, or quit YouTube for 2 months? Definitely reset my rank on COD and delete my Ultimate Team. I've done the whole quitting YouTube for 2 months. You know, I've literally only just come back. I've only been back a couple of weeks from not uploading for 2 months. So yeah, I've been there, done that. Thanks for the question. Next one comes in from iWoodley HD, and he asks, what do you miss more during off-season? During the football off-season, Match of the Day or Soccer AM? 100% Match of the Day. The only reason is because I'm never awake on a Saturday morning to watch Soccer AM. Sometimes I catch the end of it. Usually I wake up at the weekends 11, 12 o'clock. So, and I know it starts at like 10 now. It used to start at 9, but to be honest, Soccer AM doesn't really interest me anymore. It's all gone downhill since Tim Lovejoy left. He was the spearhead of that programme, but it's still decent nonetheless. But as I said, 100% Match of the Day. The next one comes in from Nick Hotspur, or Nick Koompen, I think that's his real name. And he asks, which is more newbie, target finders or shotguns? Target finders, got to be target finders. Even though I really enjoy target finders, they are proper newbie, especially if you whack them on an LMG or something. I wouldn't say shotguns are newbie at all, to be honest, but thanks for the question nonetheless. The next one comes in from Swedish Yid, and he asks, who would be your dream signing for Spurs out of the players we've recently been linked with? I'd probably say Soldado or Villa, even though they're quite old. You got to look at Van der Vaart. We signed him very, very old. You know, he was like 27, 28 when we signed him. So, you know, that's getting on to the back end of someone's career. And I know Soldado and Villa are around that age. I know Villa's about 30, but I'm pretty sure Soldado's only like 28. So, you know, I'd definitely sign him or Damiao. You know, we just need a striker, definitely. Next one comes in from Ikstar, and he asks, if you could do YouTube full-time for the rest of your life, would you? YouTube and videos being your only job ever. This, I got asked this earlier, and, you know, I had to think long and hard about this, and eventually I'd have to say no. You know, I'd love to do YouTube full-time, don't get me wrong. I'd love to make videos full-time, and you know, get famous on YouTube for a certain period of my life. You know, I'd love to do it for a couple of years, 1, 2, 3 years. But to do it for the rest of your life, from, what am I, 18 now, to, you know, to your 70 or whatever, to do that for the rest of your life, I'd have to say no. Because, you know, if you look at the downsides of it, what if YouTube just ends as a website? What if YouTube just disbands or, like, doesn't work anymore? You know, you're fucked, basically, aren't you? What if you end up getting so hated, and, you know, no one ever watches your videos anymore? Then your income drops, and that's your personal sort of income, and that's what you have to live off. So, you know, definitely 100% no. But as I said, I would love to do YouTube full-time for a certain amount of years. You know, in the next couple of years, I'd love to make that my dream goal. Thanks for the question nonetheless. Next one comes in from Swansea City 1912, and he asks, if you won the lottery, what is the first thing you'd buy? 100% a brand new car, probably a Ferrari, probably an Aston Martin, or something ridiculously expensive like that. If we're talking like, if I won like 10 to 15 million, definitely, maybe 2 Ferraris, you know, just because I could. Because my car is fucked. You know, I have a silver Polo, 1 litre. In fact, I don't even think it's a 1 litre. I genuinely think it's like a 950 cc fucking, the engine on it is dog. You know, it breaks down. I've spent hundreds of pounds repairing it. You know, if you're looking to buy a car, save up more and buy a newer model. Because my car is 2001, so it's not that old. But the amount of repairs and stuff I've had to do on it, you know, the brake pads failed, so I had to spend like a couple of £100 doing them. Then the windscreen wipers broke. Then what else? Then I had to replace the battery. Oh, it's just a nightmare. So definitely a new car. Then probably a house after that. A couple more now. The next one comes in from Beast FIFA Player 4, and he asks, what mic do you use? I use the Logitech USB desktop mic that I picked up from Amazon about a year ago for about 15 quid. So if you're looking to buy one of these now, you could probably get one used, or maybe even new. They might have dropped the prices, but definitely used for maybe 5 or 6 quid on Amazon. You know, it does the job. It's done all my videos so far, but definitely the next couple of weeks to a month, or at least by the end of the summer, I'd love to have a blue snowball, because, you know, I just want to, or maybe not a snowball, I just want to step up the next level in commentary, because, you know, I've always just used this one, so I'd just like to see what the difference is, really. But thanks for the question. And 2 more now. Second last one comes in from the Lonely Hero, and he asks, are you going to do anything special if you reach a high amount of subs? Yes, definitely. You know, over the past couple of weeks, everyone has been going on about live streams and charity live streams, and, you know, a couple of good friends of mine on YouTube, FIFA Monster and Rashanzi Ash, were going to do a 24-hour live stream last night, but I don't know what happened. I watched the first couple of hours, and then I went to bed. It was quite late. It was like 2, 3 in the morning, and I came back this morning, and, you know, I think they'd stopped it, or something else happened, and I know Maverick HD was going to do a 12-hour one, and he stopped his one. So, you know, I made the point this morning on Twitter that, you know, if you're going to say you're going to do a live stream, then you've got to do it. Fair enough if your internet fails, fair enough if your power cuts, etc. But if you say you're going to do it, so, you know, I said for 7,500 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a 60-hour solo live stream. Yes, 60 hours of non-stop live streaming, unless my computer blows up, unless my computer, you know, dies, my internet dies, etc. I will be doing that. And then obviously 10,000 subscribers. I don't know, you don't really think of those things until you get to it. I didn't decide to do a gaming setup for 5,000 subscribers literally only about 2 days before I actually did it, before I actually hit the milestone. So, you cross that bridge once you come to it, and it's not really important, but obviously you want to do something special for a big amount of subscribers. Actually, we'll have 2 more. The next one, the second last one, comes in from Stuart Cross 95, who is in fact a school friend of mine, or ex-school friend, and he asks a completely fucked up one, but that's what we enjoy. Would you rather wank with sandpaper, barbed wire, or pour petrol on your cock and set it alight? I wouldn't say definitely. Reluctantly, that's the right word. I'd probably do the sandpaper, because you could do it for a minute or 2 and then just stop. But if you poured petrol on your cock and set it alight, that's it. That's your cock gone. That is it. That is your cock finito. So barbed wire, no thank you. I've had a bad experience with barbed wire. I don't even go anywhere near that shit. So that is the second last. And the last one comes in from CMB Gaming 11, and he asks, Ask Rat, favourite YouTuber under 10,000 subscribers. My favourite YouTuber I'm watching at the moment is probably either Keanu Boss or the Burnt Chip HD. These are both FIFA guys. Call of Duty wise, I'm not really sure. There isn't that many channels I watch under 10,000 subscribers that are COD. So I'd probably have to say just those 2. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, these always go fantastically well. If you enjoyed it, then please leave it a thumbs up. It really does help me out more than you guys know. And if you're new, then please subscribe. That is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.